Right, so welcome to another Top Flight show. We are having a look at the highlights of Battersea Park 10K, which was an absolute scorcher, and doing a quick series update, and then a preview of Surrey Half Marathon, which is the next one up. So I'd like to once again thank Stacey Smith and Cameron Boyack for joining me, but we will see that we've got notable absentee.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Big Red?
I don't know, but the awesome foursome's just not complete. It's not been complete for, the past 2 months? Either Cam, you've been missing on a train to nowhere, or Rich, where is he?
Well, talking about missing, Rich is missing a tooth. So
he's a bottle jobber, in other words, isn't he?
Yeah, he said we were allowed to bring up that he's got a missing tooth.
Why?
He ate a burrito.
Hey.
You set me right up for that. So Rich, get well soon. No, he's got toothache after having an extraction. He was hoping to make it, but not quite. I said just put a bit of chewing gum right in there so he can't notice it. But yeah, I mean, he's a man of top fashion and style, so I didn't think he wanted it to detract from his overall look.
It depends on his speech, though. If he's had an injection and his lips blown up, then probably, he's going to be talking with a lisp.
Well, he was still gobby enough on his voice notes earlier, wasn't he?
So it's all right, really.
I don't think anything will calm him down, or quieten him down, should I say?
Yeah. So anyway, we'll see Rich back soon on the mic for Surrey Half Marathon, and Battersea Park. What a great race! So that's the first time we've put a 10K on. We've done a few 5Ks, and this time we had to rejig the course, start and finish at the track, because I'd mentioned that like Park Run are in there now on a Saturday morning, which has pushed our event a bit further back. The park was very busy. Mm-hmm. So a few operational learnings there about how many more bikes and people we might need on the course to get the public out of the way without making them feel like we've ruined their Saturday morning.
And I think we need to talk about Danny on the bike.
Yeah, and Danny on the bike. Oh, you know what? There's a few times where we forgot, because there's so much going on in an event, and like they forgot to put the finish line tape up. So I was so strict on the brief: do not miss the finish line tape. Make sure you assign it to 2 people. Hold the tape for the runner. So obviously they're seeing the leader come around the corner. They put the tape out. Danny's recording over his shoulder. They haven't factored in that Danny's riding the bike at me here, looking the other way. So Danny just says last minute, he turns around, sees this tape, it just wipes him off the bike. So we didn't quite get to see Cameron Allen coming over the finish line, but we did get to see Danny doing like some sort of forward roll.
What actually happened then? Because I'm not even sure. Did he get a puncture or did he just fall off?
Oh, so there was 2 things here. So the first thing was he did get a puncture on his bike. So he's got an electric bike, because obviously that's more helpful when you're recording looking the other way. And he got a puncture on the back, the wheel with the battery on. So he was grinding to a halt, having to be like behind the runners. Our media team were on the comms. Oh, we'll get you with a line bike. So raced up to him, transferred, got on. No braking coverage. Absolute professional that he is.
I don't know how he did.
And Caelan did a fantastic job picking out Jess Gibbon as well, because again it was busy. Dropped back to pick up Jess and the leading ladies. But yeah, this was at the finish line. They held the tape up and clotheslined him like double.
Well, actually, just for context, not everybody might know who Danny is. Danny's our cameraman. He was on the bike. Yeah. He then flying off. I wish, to be fair, we should have clipped that and put that on social media.
I mean, if you want to see who Danny is, just look right at the finish. You'll see his face when it's on the floor.
On the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, bless her. All they needed to do was give a little bit of a gap and he would have been able to get round, but they didn't think that there was a bike coming towards them. Surely they're looking and they're going, yeah, that bike's, it's not stopping. It's not really move.
So they didn't miss the finish line tape this time, but they didn't get the winner of the race. So yeah, that's one for Surrey. We need to get that right. But Danny's got a week off at Surrey. He conveniently.
This is turning into a podcast game boy falling off the bike.
Like, not related.
That's all ignore Mike's strict guidelines, guys. Can we just keep this structured, please? Yeah. Next thing, we're 10 minutes in, we're still talking about Danny on the bike.
I know, but it was bloody brilliant. Sorry, Danny, but it was funny.
Yeah, he does such a good job, and it's such a hard job as well. So, shout out to Danny. He won't be on Surrey because he had another engagement. So, Caelan and Jason will be in the hot seat. So
Brilliant.
let's hope they don't get wiped out as well. Fingers crossed.
And shout out to Lewis Moses, who also did excellent coverage on our first grid walk, which is something that we've wanted to do for a while. And I was very nervous about it in case something went wrong, but I think it went all right. And Lewis did such a cracking job. So thank you so much, Lewis, for doing the grid walk and asking some interesting questions. And I must admit, I was expecting more people to know what trainers they were running in.
Yeah, it was a bit surprising, wasn't it, actually? I think there was more people who didn't know what they were running in than did from the amount of people he interviewed. Yeah. They knew the brand. Some of them didn't even know the brand.
No.
Never mind.
We wanted to keep it lighthearted. There was some surprises in there that people like, I've not worn these shoes before. Things that are like, you never do as a runner. Like, I know you want a fresh carbon plate to spring you around to a new PB, but yeah, there was a few in there who, I've just got these like fresh out of the box, never wore them before, so hopefully they're all right.
Yeah, and that's like the cardinal sin. You just don't do that. But there's so many people that did that.
Yeah, so for our pit walk, we wanted to like keep it lighthearted, ask a few questions, but get closer to the athletes to get a little bit more engagement. Hopefully people liked it. If you've got any suggestions of questions, let me know. We just don't want it to be intense, but we want to continue to raise the profile of the athletes who are running our races. That's the whole point of why we're doing this.
Yeah, and make it a bit fun, we like the weird and wonderful questions and keeping it lighthearted before the race. So yeah, if you do have any suggestions, let us know.
Definitely.
So yeah, onto the race itself. It totally delivered. So we had a few of our top flight regulars turning out. So Cameron Allen, who won last year in Newcastle, was the winner in a scorching 28.46, followed up by Omar Ahmed with 28.56, so 2 under 29 minutes, which is amazing. And then Sam Gabri-Selassie, another PB. Everybody PBs in the top flight.
There you
go. You need to see the song. So 29.21, and that was on the back of him winning at Newcastle. So that puts. I'll do a quick segue to the overall series. That puts Sam on 40 points, puts him at the top of the leaderboard, followed by Omar, who's done 2 races, and then after that, everybody else on the leaderboard's only done that 1 race. So just as a quick recap, you need to do 3 to score in the overall series, and it's your best 3. So it doesn't matter if you do like all 10 races, 12, I can't count. You could do all 12, but only your best 3 scores will count overall, and then a tiebreaker at Ribble Valley.
I'll tell you what's interesting about this as well is that with the leaderboard is that Omar Ahmed won last year, but he didn't race until the second half of the year. Yeah. So our winner might not even be on the board right now.
Yeah,
and that's the beauty of it. We're still going to wait to see how it unfolds as the year progresses, but will we see Omar Ahmed or Sam Gabri-Selassie in the top 10 and Cameron Allen? I mean, if they do all 3 events, probably. But I think there's definitely people who's going to be maybe in the top 3 that aren't even on the board yet. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the next few races progress and see who actually turns out as well.
Yeah, exactly. And like Omar will race regularly, and yeah, it's totally not over from here, because if you did get an even record at the end, it would go to, if you look on the T's and C's, it goes to a Ribble Valley decider, but then also points decider, like who it goes on your head-to-head record. So Sam Gabri-Selassie has beaten Omar, as has Cameron Allen. So could that be a factor right at the end that there was an early season head-to-head which has gone one way or the other? So and also Cameron Allen's beaten Sam Gabri-Selassie in that head-to-head. So yeah, there's already some intrigue, and I'm looking forward to how that plays out, because that was the idea when we started the series. Would it actually work how we were envisaging it?
Yeah,
it does look like it's going to do that. So that's pretty cool, and hopefully we've got a lot of people who are going to come back to the series are already indicating that they're going to, and we're seeing quite a lot of familiar faces and names, and long may that continue. So talk to me about the race on the men's, because that was...
Oh, it was good. I mean, like you've already said, it was a bit of a stormer, really. It became a bit of a 2-horse race, didn't it, in the end? I mean, Stacey, we were both commenting on it, weren't we? And Cam Allen and Omar Ahmed. Cam Allen kind of just ran his own race. He was hurting with about 3K to go. Mm-hmm. Omar was surging a lot.
He's playing games.
It was interesting, wasn't it? I think my personal opinion is that, and the only thing that I can suggest that may have been the case with him, is that he is used to sort of putting a big surge in, gapping people, and then just people can never get back to him because it's such a big gap. And I think he was testing the waters throughout the race. But I think probably the detriment to that is that you're almost, those small bursts can put more and more, your lactate levels are getting higher and higher every time you do it. And when you're running it and operating at the pace they were operating at, which is 28.5 minutes, I think eventually it just it becomes a little bit too much. And I think how Cameron just didn't respond to those. He just ran his own race. He kept gradually building, close the gaps, and it worked out well for him in the end. So yeah, it was exciting. And it kind of went down to the last 1K, didn't it? I mean, we weren't sure he was going to win in the end, but
it was such a surprise. So we saw Omar try 2 different tactics in the series for 2025 so far. So Newcastle, we had him go to the front and lead. That didn't work out for him. He's tried a different tactic at Battersea of these strange surges and trying to shake the field off. Hasn't worked. It's back to the drawing board for Omar to understand what can he do in the next race to get a win, to bag a win. So it was a great race though, absolutely fantastic to see such a competitive field and the 2 lads at the front there battling it out. It was fantastic. It was such a great race.
Yeah, and just a note, I did shout Cameron Allen to win, and eventually that came to fruition because I give him
I can't remember who I said.
I give him a shout for the win a few times in a row. So yeah, well done, Camel.
Yeah, well, you can take the victory on that too. I can't remember who I said. Did you?
I actually can't remember.
Both of you. Cameron was coming into form. Like ever since he came back from America, he's had a few issues. So he's been a little bit up and down with some of his performances, and had a really strong performance at over 5 mile before Ribble Valley. Then at Ribble Valley, he had a bit of an off day. So it was he's eventually delivered on that, and probably feels like he's totally back now, because that time is way more in line with the track time that he was putting out there in America, whereas his road times needed to catch up with that. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. So he's obviously settled into his new
training setup.
Down at St Mary's.
Yeah. I think I said this in commentary. I was speaking to his dad down the track and comments as well when he was down in Durham last year, and I frequently seen him training, but I remember him coming down saying, "I'm just getting ill all the time." He was doing teacher training when you've been there yourself and been a teacher, haven't you? So, and I think it was just affecting his training a lot, especially getting used to the different lifestyle. And that's a big leap. You often see people coming back from America, and when you're out there, you've got everything on the sort of, I want to say on the plate, but you've got great facilities, you've got a great setup there. People are still getting up early, of course, but I think you've got the extra recovery, which you just don't have when you get back into the working world. And also, he didn't have his coach there. He's now moved down. He's coached by Craig. He's got his coach there to watch his sessions, which we all know important.
Shout out Craig Winrick.
Yeah, shout out to
what an
Craig.
Absolute ledge.
And it's obviously paying off.
Yeah.
So Craig put up with me for a year when I trained down at St Mary's.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Bless him.
He's a very, very good coach.
No wonder he's lost his hair.
He's going to have to do what he sees.
Haven't seen him in 10 years. He will kill us as well. Sorry, Craig.
From what you've all just said, though, there, the best thing about athletics or about road running and athletics in general is there is an uncertainty of outcome. And what a great race that was. It was a ding-dong battle. It could have gone either way. We didn't know. We've then ended up getting so Cameron, who's been on and off form, then actually performs and delivers. There's some very, very good runners behind them in the field, 12 men under 30 minutes, which was absolutely class. But yeah, that uncertainty of outcome, and then the race within a race down the field is unbelievable. And it is a good idea to address these things on air. That is such a stark contrast to what just happened at the Keighley Classic, where they once again decided to build something around one person. And then when they get injured, the whole thing falls on its arse, and you get 30% turnout in the crowd, and the BBC she'll flog it instead. It's painful. We're massive fans of athletics. These things aren't a procession. Don't sell it around one person. They like I said, the uncertainty of outcome is the product of this sport. Copy us. We're doing it right.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. I think it just, for an event organizer to build it around that, around one person, it's such a risk. You're putting all of that pressure on one person. And fortunately, and I absolutely adore Keely Hodgkinson and what she's doing for female in athletics, and just her story and how young she is and how far she's got left in her career. But to assign your name, and then you can't guarantee performances, and unfortunately it comes with the sport that injuries happen, and they happen very regularly.
Yeah, so the opposite of that, the British indoor trials, like the British champs a few weeks later, full stands, and the meeting there is built around, it's a championship, so you've got loads of people coming, loads of different events, lots of top class athletes, very competitive. You don't know the outcome of the medals. It's therefore exciting. Not one person needed to be mentioned there. The product was that it's the British Championships and you've got an uncertain outcome. That worked, and yeah, just keep doing that, please.
Yeah. Yes.
So the ladies' race.
Ladies.
Well,
yes. So
another standout performance, and 650 quid course record bonus because she hit all the bonus times. Jess Gibbon. What a fab run.
And kind of a bit of a solo effort as well. And this is exactly why we keep going back to, we've got men's and women racing together. And if she didn't have those men to pull her alongside, and she would have been out there on her own, and it would be doubtful it's not impossible. I'm not taking that away from her. It's not impossible to do a standout PB performance on your own, because it does happen, but it's certainly so difficult. But Jess, she just ran such a great race.
32-33. So a massive run. Second, Lauren Hall, 33-21. Verity Hopkins in third, 33-41. So massive performances from all of the top three. But yeah, absolute standout from Jess, just off the back of England national selections on the cross country, wasn't it, as well? So yeah,
great form. Yeah, I think as well, the impressive part about it was that she ran most of the race solo, and she timed it perfectly. She ran it pretty evenly paced, and she was just picking people off going along. And I think that's a hard thing to do. It's good when you get momentum, but I think when you're on your own for most of it, you're kind of lost in no man's land between every runner that you're sort of picking off. To be able to go out and run, like she did, I think that, again, the time we might see her smash the Top Flight Series championship record again, and I think you'll have pretty empty pockets.
Yeah, I hope so. I think, didn't she mention in the interviews as well that she got a sponsor now as well?
On, wasn't
it? She's obviously been, On, I think it was. So
she's an ambassador, isn't she?
Yeah, so she's been picked up by them from her performances, which is great. Hopefully we've given some good social media coverage for her, and that's what we need to do, really, keep boosting the profile of these up-and-coming athletes. So, yeah, well done, Jess.
Well done, Jess, and the rest of the ladies.
You know what? She actually only messaged the day before the race as well, which is crazy. So I don't know if she had other plans or if it was a late decision of I was humming and hawing, I just didn't enter. But I guess an important message there is, if you message me the day before and you want to run, I'll still make it happen. So get on there and we'll still pay. It's always a yes with us. Like, the answer is yes. We'll sort it out. Just I'll figure out how to do that.
Might have a few more grey hairs, but
yeah. So I wasn't.
We'll get you in.
It's nice doing him justice, though, isn't it? Doesn't it look like you've got any grey hairs right now?
Yeah, I know. Where's this whole grey?
You asked Mike to put that shirt on for a reason, didn't you?
Yeah. Look, V40s, right? Look, what a hairline. You'd never tell. So I was actually working on Media City Half Marathon in Manchester, which was a massive run-through event, a new half marathon, 2,500 runners. So I was watching you guys on the live stream from the Manchester office before going and setting up all the course and water and stuff. So, yeah, you just did a fab job.
Thank you. And everybody else did as well on the ground. Literally, Danny on the ground.
Yeah, quite literally.
Right, Surrey Half Marathon.
Also, just as a very quick update there, our target, right, was to have the strongest, so maybe this won't happen within a year, but we want to be the strongest event in the UK at that distance that month, right? Newcastle, 10k, check. February, Battersea, 10k, check. Thank you very much.
Right, Surrey.
December, Ribble Valley, check. November, Fulham, check. So, we're nailing it at the minute. Long may that continue. We'll maybe not get 12 out of 12, but we'll be up there.
What about the next one?
Yeah, the next one's Surrey. So yeah, we've got Surrey Half Marathon around the corner. So that's we've got to keep bigging the series up, keep the momentum going. We're absolutely smashing it. We are going to take over. So yeah, we've got Surrey Half Marathon. Well, like I just said there, that this fits in because obviously we've mentioned loads of times that we've got a great relationship with Podium and Chris Barnes and their team there, who are we're working in the same space. We're trying to work with each other, with other people in the same space. We want to do a good thing for the athletes. We're not trying to work like against each other. So given in March, the Podium Festival is on in Leicester for 5K. Because of that, we've gone Surrey Half Marathon. So it's a totally different offering to hopefully engage the people who are preparing for the marathon in April. And it just brings other people into that equation for the overall series. So yeah, we should see some different names maybe that we weren't familiar with. And yeah, we do have a late clash of events. So yeah, our field might change in a hopefully in a positive way. But yeah, we're going to see. So there's Bath Half Marathon on the same day, which has always got a solid field, not as good as the top flight fields that we've recruited. But then, like 6 weeks ago, UK Athletics announced, or British Athletics announced that they were going to use Bath as the World's Half Marathon Running Championships, which I mean, we're new to this as well, and it's hard to get everything on the calendar, and we're going to discuss with British Athletics if we can look at hosting any championships and stuff going forward. But yeah, a little bit frustrating because I didn't think we would have a clash at that distance, so a short notice like championship announcement might pull some people away from our field, but maybe not, because they were recruiting athletes at the very, very super sharp end. So I know if they've told me a few of the names who are on the list who are like right at the super sharp end, but they weren't doing what we're doing, which is trying to recruit people sort of between that 64 to 67 level on the men's side, and between the like 72 to 76 level on the ladies' side. So yeah, hopefully anybody who hasn't got into Bath, because it was going to be a small select field at the top end, hopefully those who aren't there will get diverted to Surrey. That was sort of what we've loosely agreed with them, because they only had a very small number of places. So I think it's gonna benefit us in the end. But yeah, hopefully, like I said, it'll take about 3 years before we find a perfect spot on the calendar for all of our races. And yeah, Surrey is going to be an absolutely epic event. So it's one of RunThrough's biggest events. We've got, I think, did I say before, 4,500 entries? So we're expecting 4,000 runners on the day, which is absolutely huge. It's a one-lap event. It's a big loop with then a long out and back stretch section. So yeah, the course is really fast. We've had some really good runners do it in the past. RunThrough acquired the event, and yeah, it's one of our massive ones. So it's going to be absolutely incredible atmosphere. And yeah, we'll look at a few of the lead entries. Yeah. So on the ladies' side, so I was looking at Cameron there, and he's looking back at me. So yeah, on the ladies' side, we've got some of the top picks. So we've got a couple of marathon specialists. So we've got Isabel Pickett, who's a Aussie International 2:37, quite evenly matched with Melissa Gibson, who is the UK #1 Vet 40 marathon runner, and has run 2:37 this year as well. So they're really evenly matched over the marathon. So over a half marathon, that could be an interesting clash. And I'm going to assume that we can maybe ask them on the start line, if they're getting ready for London. Or something similar. Let's make that assumption. And at the other end of the spectrum, we've got Rhiannon Hughes, who is a Leeds City Harrier, who's a 16:08 5K, 33:46 10K runner. They're all really evenly matched over the half marathon. They're all around that 1:16 mark. So it looks at the minute that you could have like a really close three-way race there on the ladies. So yeah, what about the men, Cameron? Because you've been looking through that there.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a bit of a cracker, doesn't it? I think the top three, 4, 5. I mean, I'm looking through the field. I mean, it's Samuel Gabri Selassie, already won one of our events, Newcastle 10K, won that with ease. Third at Battersea, well under 30 minutes in both. Getting better with every race. Looking forward to seeing how he goes actually at the event. Josh Grace also in great form. I mean, looking off 10K personal best, he's in his best shape since 2019, where he ran his personal best, which was 28:58. I think. Don't quote me on that completely, but I think it's around about 28:58. And he's run 29, just over 29 minutes this year. So he's in round about PB shape. Same with Larry McCourt as well, also in PB shape. Big shout out to Larry, 29 and a half minutes.
Exactly, massive jump.
Yeah, he's getting better with every race. Jonathan Collier always comes out and performs. So again, looking forward to see him. 5K second in the Battersea 5K, but that was back obviously a year ago. We all know that form can sort of really fluctuate in a short period of time. So whether or not he's going to replicate that, I don't know. But he's run 29 and a half minutes for Valencia this year, the 10K, but which was a little bit behind Josh. But I guess it begs the question, doesn't it? How relevant is that to the half marathon? I mean, you've done a half marathon, and I said I was going to ask you about this during the pod. So do you think that there's a bit of a relevance there? Or do you think that really matters too much?
Yeah, I think it's very, I think if you're going to excel in anything, you have to be focused on that one race. But if you are fit aerobically, you're good at any distance, really. If you're really fit, you're always 6 weeks away from a PB at any distance, I think, between 5K, 10K, half marathon. So, yeah, I think he'll be another one who's in the mix.
Yeah.
As well as that, I reckon, another one to throw in there. So all the guys under 66 who we're mentioning here, Carl Avery, who we mentioned before Newcastle, where he wasn't quite right to race because he's had a cold. And actually, Josh Grace had a cold just before Battersea, and then he was like, I'll see you at Surrey. But anyway, Carl, he's a former national cross-country medalist, really good at cross-country, 2:17 for the marathon, 65:27, won at Brampton to Carlisle in 48 minutes. Yeah. So here's another one who's coming in great form.
He's the type. I mean, we've said this before on the pod. We've all trained with Carl. And he is tough as nails as well, and I can imagine he'll be there for if anyone's going to have a chance of winning it. I think he's definitely one of the guys that I would say has got a shout at really putting his foot down in this one. Up against some good opposition, but like I say, I think everyone's got their strengths in different areas. Just because someone's great, maybe slightly faster over 5K, doesn't mean they're going to be better over the half marathon. So, and like you say, if you're aerobically, you're in good shape. We've seen athletes more frequently than ever of running half marathons and smashing out unbelievable times off nothing specific, threshold training especially is obviously coming into almost a fashion, which is a good thing. I think there'll probably be a few surprises there actually.
Yeah, I think on just doing a quick count there's 14 runners who are within 3 minutes of each other. So that spread is it's not a big spread. And especially with a lot of the ones who their PBs here are the guys who have mentioned who've just ran massive 10K PBs recently. So yeah, I think we're going to have a really competitive bunch around that 64, 65 minute mark. It's going to be a very, very good battle. So yeah, looking forward to hearing you guys commentate on the day. And hopefully, you know what? Shout out to Sam Gabri-Selassie again. If he runs at Surrey, then he will have already triggered the series points. So, yeah, that would be great if he gets 3 in there straight away. And, yeah, looking forward to it. So we'll see you there. Sunday morning, 16th of March, 9 a.m. Be there, be square. Well, actually, a little bit earlier for the pit walks.
Yeah. What time? Let's give it a quick
update on that. Try and go online at 8:30.
So we're going online at 8:30.
Live. Race 9.
And are we doing any pit walks this time?
Hopefully.
Yeah, that's
fingers crossed.
So if you want to see somebody walking around, hopefully Moses, is he going to be there, do you think? Or
I'm not sure exactly who we've got at the minute, but yeah, we are trying.
Of that calibre.
Scenes.
Hard to match Big Moses, but I'm sure we'll find someone. And if you want to see some interesting takes on opinions and sort of more insight onto what the athletes are doing before the race, tune in at 8:30, not 9 a.m.
That's more like Cameron will show up at 9 a.m. But yeah, everybody else will be online at 8:30.
I'll be there at 8:30.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.